path. Eightfold path. Eightfold. So every Buddhist Dhamma journey should be this path. Whatever your dana, sila, meditation, your whatever the activity should fit in with the goal of this Noble Eightfold Path. This is the only path that we are supposed to practice. Now then we have to find out where is this meditation coming in this path. Where is it connected to? Let's find out what are these 8. Right view. Then right thought. Speech. Action. Right living. Does not talk about a job. The way how you make money. Then right effort. Right mindfulness. Then right concentration. Okay. But everybody in their personal life, when they argue with other people, they say their view is right. Then what is the difference between that rightness and this right? I think this English translation has certain loaded idea. Because right is not always moral, isn't it? In some countries, you can buy a gun and you can kill animals for fun. It's legal. Is it right? It's right. It's my right. When you are driving, certain drivers have the right of way. What does it mean? When you are driving, you have something called right of way. Means, let's say you are entering into a main highway, whatever, then other people have to go first. Right of way. Right. In terms of do animal hunting, it is right. So how do we understand this samma? The Pali word is samma. Samma. Samma, samma, samma. There was one Sri Lankan monk who was giving a Dhamma talk about Noble Eightfold Path in England, long time ago. There was a white man Caucasian man who was in the audience. So he didn't understand what he's talking about. See, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, Samma Vayama, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. So the Bhante has been explaining now each thing in Sinhala language, but he didn't understand. So, but he noticed something. That's quite interesting. He said to the Bhante, Samma sleeping now. This talk was happening after lunch. He thought this part, English word. Some are sleeping here. They are dozing off. Something wrong with them. He said, it's not that samma that I'm talking about. So samma means wholesome. It's not we use the word right, but if I really want to find out the translation, samma means wholesome. So right view, like in your understanding, right is very individualistic, right? So wholesome view is always moral, wholesome, right? So wholesome, that is a proper translation. Wholesome, wholesome view, wholesome thought, wholesome speech, wholesome action, wholesome living, effort, wholesome. Why it is? There are people who are having all these 8 in unwholesome view, unwholesome thought, unwholesome speech, unwholesome action, unwholesome living, unwholesome effort, unwholesome mindfulness. There are people who practice meditation with unwholesome activities. Tell me one example. A crane who is eagerly waiting to see a fish to catch, A crane, super mindful, very careful, does not move. So that is called unwholesome mind. It's not wholesome mind. A cat who knows that there is a prey, a rat is somewhere hiding, is very focused on the rat till he comes out of the place. Criminals are so careful. They have mastermind. They are planning for months and months. Terrorists, they have lots of mindfulness, unwholesome mindfulness, planning to take someone's life. And law enforcement, intelligence bureaus, they are having lots of intelligence for many years to catch somebody. Border control. So there is what you call, we can say it's unwholesome sometimes. It's not the mindfulness which the Buddha talks about. Now we are talking about this in this, half an hour. So as I pointed out early, our meditation practice is not a standalone practice. It is a practice that should be practiced with 7 other things. Okay. We should have right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, also right mindfulness, right consciousness. They all are bringing us to the nobility one day in life. Right? So that's how we understand right mindfulness. What is right view? There are 10 things to practice, 10 things to have in your attitudes. 10 things. Dana is fruitful, giving dana is important, small dana, large dana. My mom is a special person, my father is a special person. There are good karma, bad karma with kusala, apusala. And there is this world, and I will be reborn again in samsara. And then there are monastics, contemplatives who have practiced meditation. Thereby they have developed direct and indirect meditation. So believing in these 10 is what you call by you have the right way, samadhi also. So interestingly, mother and father, they are part of the samadhi. If you don't, you may have some issues with your mom and dad sometimes, but if you don't bring mother and father as a special person, as a gratitude, you cannot practice any of these things. Your meditation will be in a struggle. So, right thought means 3 thoughts. Right thought has to come before the meditation practice. You think you are developing your thoughts here, but before developing here, you have to have right thoughts. We call them renunciation, non-ill will, non-harassing thoughts. So we should come up with thoughts of renouncing, because we are trying to acquire things. I want to eat this thing, I want to get that, I want to be with that person. We have a bunch of wants, but it's okay. You may have needs, but time to time think about renunciation. I don't want them. I try to let go of a couple of things. That also brings us some happiness. And non-ill will, thoughts of destroying other people. So how many people you have killed in your thoughts in the last 2 to 3 decades? Maybe 4 to 5 decades if you're living that long. Tell me the number. You haven't killed anybody in person, but in your mind, when you are angry, you are mad with them. How many? I normally ask this question. Huh? Yes. 5 people. That's a pretty straightforward answer. I hope they are not your family members. Somebody. 5. How many? Many. Because we think it's okay to kill people in mind. No. We do bad karma in thoughts. Then it will come to the physical level. That means we have to stop our killing thoughts coming up. So, non-ill. Before the meditation. Don't go to meditation without having this. And then non-harassing. How many people you have bullied so far? Bullied, harassed, picked on in your life? That's pretty bad, thoughts of bullying other people, picking on other people. I hope you are very good people over here. You haven't harassed anybody. You haven't had any thought of killing anybody, right? Those thoughts. Speech, four speeches. Not lying, not, dividing people, not hurting other people with your words, not become a gossiper, not supposed to lie, not supposed to divide people. Some people would like to divide others. They don't like other people are doing well, friendly. They want to pass two information to this person, that person. Finally, they are very happy with their clash. That's such a bad akusala state of mind. And hurting, we don't know. Sometimes our words can hurt other people. That's why we are supposed to forgive one. Then gossipers, talk nonsense all the time. When you are a noisy person, you definitely become a gossiper. Always talk. You want to talk. You want to find out people to talk. Buddha said you don't have to talk that way. Because we do a lot of akusalas, not from the thoughts, not from the actions, but from the mouth, speech. 4 akusalas. Be careful with your words. Action, reaction. Not killing, not stealing, not sexually misbehaving. Right action. Before the meditation, before you start your meditation, you must have had this background. Then living. Living means not cheating. There are a lot of ways people can make a living with bad money. Living. Right effort, 4 ways. Remove akusalas that you already have. Prevent akusalas you don't have yet. Develop kusalas that you have. Create kusalas you don't have. Now, say for instance, it's like a gardening project. You have a garden, if you like a garden. Then you see that weeds have already come up, sadly. Then you are trying to remove it. And maybe you don't have weed, so you are preventing weeds coming up. You are getting a second advice, second opinion from someone who knows gardening. So you are doing certain things, so weeds are not coming. And then you have garden going well, so you want to develop, improve this level of garden. Maybe you want to see more crops, fruits, vegetables, so that you are trying to do certain things, finding fertilizers and all that. And this creating means sometimes you are not happy enough about the progress of your garden. So you want to get some advices how to develop. Maybe you go to a nursery, you ask an opinion. In the same way, we are supposed to remove akusalas, which you already have, like weeds. We are trying to prevent potential akusalas that can come from other people in our life. We are trying to develop the kusalas we already have. We are good in patience, but we have to develop it, and we have to create new kusalas. Let's say you are someone who has jealousy, but you have a friend who has not that much jealousy. So you are impacted over time. So you are creating a new kusala, right? So 4 ways of effort. Now we come down to the mindful. What's the Pali word? Sati. This is the Pali word, not the bhavana. Bhavana is a Pali commentarial word for meditation. Bhavana. Sati. Of course, within the practice of sati, what you are doing is bhavana. You are doing bhavana for the last 2. Okay. With the timing, now let's talk about, I think it's very clear to all of you, your Dhamma practice is this. Don't go to meditation right away. Do your other practices and then you come to this thing. When you have practiced these 8 path factors sufficiently, then you practice all them together, simultaneously. That's how it works. It's not like in July I'm going to practice right view, and August will be right thought, then what do you call, September will be right speech, then October will be right action, November will be right living, then you're gonna hit 2025 for this rest of the practices. It might not work actually. So probably you might do it within a certain period, short time, and then you're going to work with them. This eight. All right. And then the Buddha said, in order for you to practice each noble path factors, you need three other supportive path factors. Can anybody think about? Remember? Now you want to start with Sammaditthi, right view. You cannot start just by Sammaditthi. You need another three path factors to start the process. And with that, you go to the second one. So, what are those three supportive factors? Yes, right view, right effort, right mindfulness. You need right view to practice right view as well. Why is it? Whether I have right view or whether I have wrong view, you need a support backup. You get backup from another layer of Sammaditthi, right view. Then just because you know good and bad, can you still practice? Sometimes you know this is good, this is bad, but you still continue to be a bad person. Why is it? Why is it? You don't have enough virya, energy. Energy is very important in the practice. Why? When you are lazy, what are the most mental states coming in your mind? Akusala states. Right? When you are lazy, akusalas are more possible to come up. So we have to manage virya. We have to manage virya. But if you have so much virya, it is also a problem. Why is it? Now you are in the practice today. Then you are thinking by tomorrow morning I will become a sotapanna before the second. You are trying so hard, may I become a sotapanna? Right? Then you are having unnecessary too much virya. That's not necessary. In this practice, don't bring too much virya. Don't do too much meditation. Don't do too much study. It's very normal. Huh? It's not good. Don't do too much of anything. We call it Kamasukallikam Yoga, Attakilmatana. Then too less virya. You have very, very less virya. Not enough to continue your practice. Right? Today you learn the Dhamma talk, but the rest of the 15 to 16 days, you have no practice, nothing. So that is too less virya. So the Buddha said we have to balance out our virya. Just like the example he gave to Bhante Sona. Can you remember Bhante Sona's story? Bhante Sona was a musician before he became a monk. And then after he became a monk, his meditation didn't work. I mean, he was not happy with his meditation. So he thought he would better disrobe and make another life. So then the Buddha said, the problem that you have is with energy, virya problem, somewhere here, right effort. Then he was very smart, Buddha, definitely wise. The Buddha thought about how to tell him this issue. Then he asked about his musician life. Okay, before you became a monk, you were a very famous, very reputed musician, veena player. So what do you think, Sona? When you play a veena, what if that you press the veena too tight, very tight? Do you get the euphonic, nice somatic sound? I said no. It's an instrument. You don't need to press hard. What if that you press so slack, so loose? Even the musical instrument doesn't feel that you are pressing it. right? No, it won't make any sound as well. No, not good sound. What if that you are not too much making the those notes too tight and too slack? Then I get the desired sound that I want to show to people. Then the Buddha said, it is the same thing that applies to your this Noble Eightfold Path practice, your Dhamma journey. Don't practice too much, too serious. Don't practice too less. Now you don't take it wrongly. Yeah? What I am trying to say is something very high in our practice. So, in the same way, right effort. Now you know this is wrong way, this is right way. Just because you know it doesn't make sense, because you should have energy to practice it. Now you have energy, you have Samma Vayama. But there is another problem now you are facing. What is it? How to practice the particular virya at the right time? How do I know that this is the time? Let's say now I am with somebody whom I've been very much spoiled and pampered. So more akusalas can come. And probably in your case, you are too tempted. Let's say you go to a shopping mall. You were looking for buying a product. Few months ago, it was very high. Maybe a seasonal product. Now the season has already gone away. Now they have reduced the price. Right? Reduced the price. But you are asked to go to the shopping mall, maybe the grocery shop. I don't know who is giving you the note. Somebody is giving you the note, let's say. Maybe you are going by yourself. Now you think you want to buy these 5 items. But when you go inside the mall, you see in the clearance those stuffs you really wanted to buy a few months ago. But now you don't need them anymore. Then you are tempted by this shopping mentality. Nice songs are playing. And you have also not taken your breakfast at that time. So much worse now. You are getting into a big chaos. You have credit card, you have cash. And then finally you are not buying what you were supposed to buy. You end up buying that particular thing. Why is it? Why is it? Right mindfulness, not at that level. So when you know what to do, what not to do, then you have enough energy, then use mindfulness to do that particular component. Now here, right view. You need right mindfulness to practice right view at that point. So are the other path practice. Okay. I'm going to erase this part. The sutta for this is Maha Chattarisaka Sutta. You can go check it. Maha Chattarisaka Sutta. Majjhima Nikaya 117. This is where the Noble Eightfold Path is highly defined, analyzed, synthesized by the Buddha. Alright, you don't find it in the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. No, in the Satchayipana. They are pretty basic suttas. But this is the most analytical sutta about the Four Noble Truths and Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, let's go to mindfulness now. Very short time, but make it. What is meditation? Actually, I am supposed to answer your questions, but you are just looking at me, so I have to pick it up from somewhere. What is meditation? I asked this question in my all retreats. Sati. Why do we meditate? Why do we have to why do we have to meditate? Must we meditate? Why? What's that? Calm the mind down. Clear the mind. Defilements. Discipline the mind. Let's be specific. What the Buddha exactly said about meditation. Why should we meditate? For what purpose? In Buddhism, not our own imaginations. Okay. Any others? Seeing things as they are. Enlightenment. Why your answers are a little different, one to one sometimes? Something wrong maybe. Yeah? Something maybe inconsistent. Yeah. See the depend origination. Okay. Catch the monkey. Catch the monkey mind, not the monkey. Not supposed to catch the monkeys. Okay, and then yes, gain wisdom, end suffering. I think we're gonna pass the time now if you're gonna keep it. Okay, now this is what the Buddha said. Don't let me explain again because then you have to keep it in your mind. This is how the Buddha said. The sutta is Satipatthana Sutta. Uh, when you read Satipatthana Sutta, you will see how the Buddha explains why are we supposed to practice sati. He said we can use sati as a satipatthana, establishing sati. How did he say? Kaye kayanupasse viharati atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhicchado manasa. Interesting. Huh? Kaye kayanupasse assi viharati. So the same phrase recurs. Sorry, kaye vedanasu vedananupasse. Don't worry about the Pali. I'm going to explain. Vedana Passi viharati chitte chittanupassi viharati dhamme dhammanupassi viharati. Okay, there are 4 ways to bring our sati. One is the body, one is our feelings, one is our thoughts, one is the mental properties. Whatever the way that you feel comfortable, you can bring your sati through these ways, but we recommend kai. Alright, then let's find out other Pali words in this explanation. Kaye kayanupasse viharati, o vedanasu vedanasu viharati, chitte chittanupasse viharati, dhamme dhammanupasse viharati, atapi sampajano satima 1, 2, 3, 4 vinaya loke vinaya loke abhijja domanasa. This is the most important part of why do we have to meditate. These are the ways how we bring that sati. But while we are doing, we need these 4. Atapi means we should have right effort. Sampajano, we need to have full awareness. Or some people say clear comprehension. Satima, awareness. Vinaya loke abhijja domanasa. You are supposed to remove abhijja and domanasa with regard to your internal world. What is abhijja? Abhijja? Covetousness. In simple words, in layman's language, a big word actually. Abhijja means greed, strong greed actually. And domanasa means grief. So your purpose in meditating as a daily practice, maybe a regular practice, is to finally remove greed and grief. That means lobha and dosa. Lobha, dosa with regard to your internal world. Our world is mostly internal. Our internal world. We feel that we have an internal, when somebody that we love pass away. Our whole internal world collapses. So this is the purpose. Enlightenment is a product of this. Peace of mind is a product of this. What else someone says? Clarity of mind is a product of this. They all are offshoots of this. Small, different angles of benefits. So this is the purpose. That means when you meditate, you must end up by removing as much as lobha as you can, as much as dosa as you can. But if you still continue to have lobha dosa after a meditation, that means, I don't know that is what kind of a meditation is that, but that is not the meditation which the Buddha talks about in the Satipatthana Sutta and Mahasatipatthana. Alright, so what's the purpose of meditation? To remove lobha dosa in regard to our internal world. And then what is satima? Actually, sati means mindfulness is not a good translation actually. You are a Pali scholar, you might not agree. Because in our sati practice, we sometimes fill the mind with certain good qualities, generosity, loving kindness, wisdom. But sometimes we empty the mind. We empty the wrong stuff, unlearn, empty the mind. Let's say I have lobe, I have to empty in mind, right? Let's say you figure out your brain has a certain storage, right? And then you can't exceed that storage of knowledge. Like the Zen story, yeah? There was a professor who wants to go see a master, Zen master in Japan. And then the Zen master knew the professor is too much knowledgeable. So you have to unlearn certain amount of knowledge that you have, then I can offer my Dhamma knowledge. So he understood, but professor might be offended. So he went inside the kitchen, he made a nice tea. He brought in the tea now to the table. So now he offered the empty cup to the professor, and then he was now flowing. Now he was pouring, and then now the cup is flowing over. He said, "Stop, Bhante, stop." He said, "This is how your mind at the moment. You have too much things. You have to unlearn." So when you say mindfulness, it's like filling the mind. There's no part called emptying the mind. So the better wording is awareness, Satima. Because awareness itself is not enough. That's why you need clear comprehension. Clear comprehension. Now I'm going to ask you, what is sampajana? How do we do it? Now we can be, now in a moment of time, we are practicing forgiving meditation. So we are aware about our people who have hurt us, who we have hurt us, and then us, in which ways we hurt us. So we are aware of that problem, and we want to give a sincere, heartful forgiveness. But then how do we bring clear comprehension, sampajana, to our practice of meditation? Are you aware that you are on a ground at the moment, flow? This ground, these tiles, they were made of 4 elements: Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. What is Patavi? Solid part of the elements. Apo, pouring part. You can find water, right? And then Tejo, heat part. Vayu, air part, like some air, right? So all these materials, they are made from 4 elements, right? And what about the living beings? How are they made of? 4 elements. In addition to the 4 elements, 5 attributes. What are they? Rupa, they have a body. Vedana, they have feelings. All sentient beings. Sanya means they all have perceptions, memories. Sankhara, what's the meaning of Sankhara? Give us a very layman translation. Don't make us complicated. Sankhara. Kamma. Yeah, kamma. You make kamma by volition. Chetana. Right? Our good karma, bad karma. Sankhara. Vijnana, our consciousness. So we all sentient beings, we have these 5. But do we understand this when we are dealing with other human beings? That all these human beings, sentient beings, they have 5 attributes? Not that much. Because then we don't have sampajana. But don't call people, hey, you are a panchakanda. Panchakanda A, panchakanda B, panchakanda C. No, I have a name. Call me by name. So we don't, offend other people, but we understand it's a panchakanda in addition to the 4. So that understanding is sampajana. I think we don't have that all the time. That's why we are into certain fantasies, certain desires, unnecessary desires, too much stuff. If we understand that, we will give a break to our unnecessary akusala thoughts. All right. So that is the purpose of meditation. So then you pick up one of the meditations. I recommend breath meditation, which comes under Kayanupassana. Why do we start with the breath meditation? Why? Breath meditation is the key meditation in our practice. But why do we watch our breathing? What is the purpose of that? Huh? Calm down the mind. Why don't we look at our digestion part? We also eating. Why we can watch it? Can't we? We don't feel. Nah? We don't know how the food is being digested. But the purpose of breath meditation is to calm our breath. That's the purpose. But before that, we are refining our breaths because our breaths are raw. They are not refined. How do we know that they are not refined? We feel the breath. As long as you feel the breath, that means you are not calm. As long as you feel the breath, you feel that you are breathing, that means you are not calm. Unless you have a medical condition, it's okay. But if you don't have a medical problem, but you feel you are breathing, that means you are not calm. Then what we are doing is we are refining our breath. The more we refine our breath, the calmer we are. That is why we are watching the breath. Otherwise, we don't have a different understanding about breath. So when the calmness is arising as a consequence of refining the breath, then the clarity is also arising. Clarity of the mind. When the mind is clear, when the clarity is there, then we can see our kusala thoughts and kusala thoughts. We can pick up what to do, what to improve, what to prevent, what to remove. That is the purpose of breath meditation. That's why we are doing the breath meditation. So how are the metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, forgiveness, gratitude, all these different other meditations work? When you bring your calmness through watching the breath, as a consequence of refining the breath, you come to a certain calmness. Then you shift the focus. Shift the focus into metta, or karuna, mudita, or upekka. Then gratitude meditation, katanyuta, or maybe forgiveness, kama meditation. Okay? Shift the focus. Alright, so that is the purpose. You don't have to think about a lot about this, but sometimes some people can practice anapanasati in a little bit structured way. Satipatthana Sutta talks about breath meditation in a normal way. But there's a sutta called Anapanasati Sutta. This sutta says we can practice breath meditation through all the satipatthanas. That's interesting. You do one meditation, you hit all the satipatthanas. Let me tell you, I think with that, let's take the break. Now you start with the breath meditation. Tell me what is happening to you as you progress in your breath meditation. What will happen to you? You feel you are going to see some kind of calmness, but not super calmness. You see certain objects, levitation, rotating, moving here and there, floating. In some retreats, some people say he saw a rock, then the other person next to him is very worried. I didn't see that rock. Right? What happened? Are you going somewhere in Rockies? Anyways, so different objects. So what I tell them is, don't interpret what you see as an indication. They are wrong indications of your meditation practice. Just keep going on. But understand it is a progress of your meditation. Because you never focus on one kusala subject before. Now you keep continuing. So I'm going to write down this so then you can focus on your meditation easily. First is wrong indications. Indications. It will happen. You will see them actually. And then the second is you're going to keep continuing. You're not going to end up. You keep continuing. Then you feel a certain happiness. Kind of a levelish happiness. You feel. Don't try to interpret that happiness. How happy am I at this point compared to when I did not meditate? You're going to continue. Then what will happen? You are coming to a stage that you feel that you are not almost breathing a lot. You don't feel the breath. You become breathless, but you are not breathless. Otherwise, you must have died. You don't feel the breath. I would say a breathless stage of all these are part of the breath meditation. That means you have perfectly refined your breath. Super calm. Don't try to interpret this. Now I think I have come to a Sotapanna, maybe enlightenment stage. Like one lady actually called our temple in Ottawa a long time ago. She said she wants to come and see us. And I asked why. Today early morning by 5 or 6, I became the Buddha. I want to verify whether I truly became the Buddha. Can I come? I said, don't come, because we are not the perfect people to verify this. Caucasian lady. Keep continuing. The people go to different fantasies at different stages. You don't become one of them. So you keep continuing. When you see the wrong indications, understand it's progressing, continue. Watching breaths. That's what you do. Watching breaths. You will be happy at a certain point. Just keep continuing. You will come to a breathless stage. At this point, you don't feel that you are breathing. You are super calm at that point. Then there will be a point that you don't, not many thoughts come into you. You will come to a stage that not a lot of thoughts are coming to you. Whatever the thoughts are coming to you, you can manage them. Just think about, like, in our daily life, how many thoughts are bothering us? We cannot handle them. Then we call, I am stressed out. You go see a psychologist, say, you have a disorder, phobia disorder, that disorder. Actually, we all have these small issues. Just because of that, we don't have a psychological problem. Right? But they are finding a way to treat you. So you understand, not many thoughts are coming. Whatever the thoughts are coming are manageable. I can handle them. I can see even my tiny loba, tiny anger, tiny little other problems, jealousy. I can see them. Before I could not see them. I am very covered with a lot of unnecessary emotions. So you are coming to this stage. Finally, you are coming to a stage of this is called clarity of the mind. Clarity of mind. Then contemplations. There are 4 contemplations given by the Anapanasati Sutta. One is anicca. Second is viraga. Third is nirodha. Fourth is paticca. I will explain to you what is happening now. Now, when your mind is very clear, when you can handle your thoughts at this point, then it is the perfect time to bring that mind to contemplate on one of these contemplations. Let's pick up anicca, change. Then you think about a personalized event where you really underwent anicca. Something happened to you. Maybe a promotion. Maybe how you were demoted. Maybe how things change overnight. Unexpected situation. You think about it. And then you bring that particular event, because now you can think about it properly, with this anicca. It was an event with regard to anicca. Let's say you are good with this contemplation. After a while, sometimes with this practice, you go to the viraga, dispassion. Yeah, always with sensuality. Try to sort of go out of this raga, passion, and see whether whether I can achieve sort of dispassion. What is the happiness of being dispassionate? Nirodha, cessation. Cessation means, do we have to attain nibbana to enjoy cessation? Not necessarily. Right? Remember what Kisa Gautami told Prince Siddhartha before he became even an ascetic. When Kisa Gautami saw Prince Siddhartha, she said a nice verse. It recited, Nibbuta nuna so mata, sa mata, Nibbuta nuna so pita. And then Nibbutasu ya nari yasayang idisopati. He said, whoever is the father to this young man has been already extinguished, already gone to the Nibbana. That Nibbana is not that enlightenment. That means in life their thoughts are extinguished, blown out. There is no more fire in that thought. Right? Whoever gave birth to this young man is already extinguished. What you call Maya Devi. uh, whoever the woman who is with this man, who belongs to this man, that wife should be extinguished. That means Nibbuta is not an enlightenment only. The Pali word Nibbuta. Nibbuta means past participle of Nibbana. So how many Nibbanic moments we are enjoying in our life since morning until the evening, right? So when we are very happy in the proper way, we say it's like cessation thoughts. So you can bring up one of those thoughts. Patinissagga means letting go. You can let go unnecessary things when you have the clarity of the mind. So this is how you are progressing in your breath meditation. All right. So I think a lot of things that you may need to ask were I think cleared under this section. Maybe you may ask later on in your interviews, maybe tomorrow. All right. Any questions about this? I can take one or two questions if you have. Do you have a question? Yes, please. Any questions about this? Yeah. Pati Nissagga. Nissagga. That means letting go. So when you have the clarity of mind, you try with anicca first, then you try with viraga second, you can try with nirodha third, you can try with finally patinissagga. Because we have a lot of life experiences with regard to these four things.
Anyone with questions, you all can.
Yeah, let's take the mic.
Bhante, going back to the first question you asked us, you said, what is meditation? So you've given us a comprehensive view on meditation, the before and the after and during. So how do we address that question, what is meditation?
So meditation is a practice which comes along with the Noble Eightfold Path. The purpose of meditation is to remove lobha and dosa. So when you start with breath meditation, what is happening is that finally your lobha and dosa will be ultimately eventually removed. Because what are the events that are coming up with anicca, lobha dosa events? Dispassion also the same. So that big question will be answered throughout this whole practice.
So Bhante is a very subjective question. It's not an objective question. It's very subjective because it's actually a whole process that a whole paragraph, a whole process that we answer. Then your question is, what is the Pali word for meditation?
Sati. Sati. That's how I started.
Thank you.
Sati. Bhavana is a word that has been picked up by the Pali commentarians. We find Bhavana in some places. Normally we find Bhavana with the Bojjhangas, 7 Bojjhangas. But in terms of the specific meditation practice, we say Sati. So developing, improving, enhancing awareness is implied. You don't have to say it differently. Developing part is implied. It is an implied, it is in the implied sense. So we know when sati, definitely sati means you have to create, develop your awareness. All right, I think let's take the what you call time. I think we have passed time, so we will do the forgiving meditation at this point before we move on to the walking. Okay. Yes. You cover in the literal sense, but you don't cover in the way how it works. Metta meditation has been taught by many. So I'm trying to point out this issue in a way that we have to practice certain awareness. Now, let's say you are in an area where there are lots of certain beings, right? Let's say some other animals. Let's say you have lots of maybe deers. So then you are, because even you say that you're doing it to everybody, but if you are not particularly addressing certain people, now say for instance a difficult person in the family, you have someone who is bothering you all the time, you only put that person in the general list, but you don't have a problem with the general people. Your problem is with that one person. That person matters to you, but you just discard that person. You go to the whole thing just to go away from that issue. So finally, we have to come down, bring our meditation, metta to that particular person. So then we are really hitting the right person, do the right, proper metta meditation. Although you can see they all are included, implied sense. But in order for us to bring metta, we have to make them feel that we have the metta. That's why the Buddha said, he was attacked. Yeah. Mm. No, that's a different question. I think it takes time to answer. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Let's say you are moving on to a new neighborhood where there are a lot of criminals. You avoid all the criminals. I think about my neighborhood is a good neighborhood, right? So I think what indirectly says is that we have to be alert and aware about the people, beings who are around us. That not only help us to practice metta, but also make proper decisions in regard to them. Okay, so let's do the forgiving meditation at this point. Same instructions about what do you call the breath meditation. Sit comfortably. Keep your back upright, not too tight. Hands resting wherever they are comfortable. Tongue on the roof of your mouth. Allow your eyes to gently close. Soft gaze. The next part is to scan your body to get a sense of your size, shape, weight of your body. Be careful not to attach the body, but just to understand this is the body that I am practicing breath. After you scan the body this way, you are going to relax the body. You can relax your body by taking a deep breath. If one deep breath doesn't work, then go for 3 breaths. Whenever you are ready with the relaxation, we are going on to the breath meditation. The actual breath meditation starts with watching breaths as they arise, stay, and going away. It's a long breath. You're going to see this long breath is arising, lasts for a moment of time, and goes away. Short breath. If it is a short breath, how my short breath is arising, how it lasts for a moment, how it goes away. If it is a fusion or blend of the both, understanding that this is a mixed breath, how my mixed breath is starting, arising, how it stays for a moment, how it goes. So we are going to keep watching breaths as they arise, stay, and go. Make sure that you watch one breath at a time. You can't watch multiple breaths. You should not as well. As you continue watching your own breaths, at times you may be distracted. It depends on the practice level of each person. You may be or you may not be. In case if that happens to you, it's okay. You are going to, at that point, bring your focus back to the breaths, watching how the breaths arise, stay, and go. As you continue, you may reach a certain point of calmness in this breath meditation practice by watching breaths rising, staying, and going. When you feel that you are calm enough, that is the point we are shifting the focus of this breath meditation onto forgiveness. Come on. Don't be misunderstood when I say shifting. That means you are watching your breaths all the way on the side, but as a second priority of this meditation, you are bringing up another area onto this meditation. Keep watching your breath. At the same time, you are going to pay attention to forgiveness. How are we going to do that? We are going to do it in three ways. We are going to forgive us in the first place. Then we are going to forgive us for being not good to other people. We have to forgive to others. And in the third place, we are forgiving others because they hurt us. Let's focus on the first aspect. I may have not taken care of myself. I may have hurt myself in thoughts, emotions, actions. I have overlooked my self-care. At times, I may have not taken care of myself sufficiently. Therefore, I make this time to understand those past mistakes. They are all in the past. I need to correct myself. In order for me to heal from this issue, I'm sending lots of forgiveness to myself. It won't happen again, but I want to heal myself. Let go of that past. I send a heartful forgiveness to myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Going one step further, looking at how I may have hurt other people, like family, workplace, other people, friends, whoever. I understand the mistakes. I understand the gravity of the hurt, being hurt. I understand that they have suffered, gone through some suffering because of my words, my actions, so on and so forth. And now I'm going to apologize to them. I understand sincerely my mistakes. At the same time, I want to forgive for myself, even in this place, for hurting other people. I will not do anything like that anymore from now. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. because I am a better person at this point onwards for hurting other people. In the third perspective, the second and the third perspective of forgiveness, sending forgiveness, asking forgiveness is I'm going to understand how other people have taken me for granted, how they have taken advantage from me, how they have abused me, how they have done. I don't reply to them with anger, or I don't retaliate, I don't bring the same thing to them. I understand. In order for me to be on the safe side, I have cut my friendships with them just to be safe on my side, but I don't have to keep any hatred, any anger towards these people because they are not able to do it again. But I have to heal myself from being hurt from them. I send a heart full of forgiveness to them. I send a heart full of metta to them, karuna to them, mudita, upekka. I'm thinking about how I'm going to send and how I will be sending forgiveness to all these individuals, starting from me to myself, and me to others, and me to other people who have. Alright, so let's keep continuing. On the side, you have to keep your breath meditation. While you are progressing in the breath meditation, you are focusing on forgiving yourself for hurting others, forgiving yourself for not taking care of yourself, forgiving others for what they have done.